All right, guys, I'm back for another video. Appreciate y'all commenting, liking, subscribing. If you find value in these videos, ask that you continue to share them. Today's video is going to be a little different. As you can see, I'm not showing my face today. Not feeling the best, and just not feeling the best today. But I'm still going to put out a video for you guys because I make them weekly right now. I don't do the batch content just yet, where you make 10 videos in one day and just drop them throughout the course of a month or a year, however you do it. But today's video, I want to do something a little different because we always talk about lifestyle, but one of the things I've learned is you should go visit the lifestyle that you want. And what I mean by that is, if you want an exotic car, go to an exotic car dealership. Man. And one of the things that you're going to find happens is, initially you're going to be very uncomfortable. Right? Because you can't afford one of these vehicles, and God forbid if one of the salesmen actually, approaches you and talks to you, right? But what I found is that, at least my experience has been, more times than not, the salesmen, they're going to come talk to you. This dealership, I've been here before, so they're not going to come out and talk to you because, at least at this dealership, I believe that, you would have an appointment if you were serious about buying, right? So you're not just going to walk up to a lot and just go, hey, I want this McLaren, right? You would set an appointment. You would call ahead of time, have your secretary or staff call, you order it, yada, yada, right? But the point is, come look at what it is that you want. So for me, I have not purchased my first exotic yet. Probably a couple years out from being able to reasonably afford it the way I would want to, without stretching the dollar. But I just wanted to come take you today with me to look at these cars, check them out. As you can say, this might be more of a car video than a talking video, but this first one, this is a 750S McLaren. I mean, look at that, man. This is beautiful. And what I guess you say, what blows my mind, it doesn't blow my mind as much anymore, but this is, what is it? Man, I don't even know how much the 750S is. How much is the 750S? This is a GTS, so it doesn't even have the price tag on it, but I'm going to say this is at least a 300K car. Might even be more. But look at that. They just leave it parked outside. In the weather. I mean, I don't know if you can see that pollen. You can see leaves on it, 300K car. They just leave parked outside when you come to the dealership. You go to South Florida, it's the same thing. I'm from South Carolina, so first of all, we don't even have exotic car dealership in South Carolina. It's nice. The nicest it gets is Audi, maybe a Porsche dealership. Okay, here we go. Here goes another 750S. Look at that. It's just beautiful. Another beautiful car. Let's see if we can find the price for this guy. 750S. Oh, there we go. Manufacturers. You see it? Manufacturers. Right there. Manufacturers suggested retail price is about $365, and then you got a whole nother whatever, couple $100,000, well, not a couple hundred, about 50-60,000 more features added to it. But look at that. I mean, that is just a beautiful car, and like I said, they just got it sitting out in the weather. And I would say for me, the biggest shift I got from that, seeing these cars sitting out in the weather, brand new, by the way. This is what model year is this guy? This guy is probably so look at that. It's brand new. Look at that. It's 2025. See that? See where it says model? 2025 McLaren 750S Spider. That is a brand new car. And, me being from South Carolina, this one's another 750S. You can lease it. $5,000, well, $4,500 a month. All right. But it kind of puts it in perspective. On one hand, there's a lot of people out here that say, oh, nobody can afford this, right? Nobody can afford to buy a house. Nobody can afford to buy a car. Sorry, guys, we're right by the airport, so that's why you keep hearing all of these. That's why you keep hearing all these jets flying over. But on the one hand, you hear that people can't afford this or that, et cetera, et cetera. But then you come to the dealership, and they got the cars parked out outside. And where I'm from, like just a Lamborghini or a Rolls Royce or something, that would be like on the showroom floor with ropes around it. You wouldn't be able to touch it. And you see out here, they got it out in the pollen, in the dust, just sitting, waiting for somebody to come get them. All right. And so it kind of puts it in perspective. This is the 570S. So this one, I think, is 2 something. Yeah, asking on it is 235. And it is a 2023. So this is a used. They don't like to say used. They like to say pre-owned, but it's used. But yeah, you come to the dealership and these cars are just sitting outside in the dealership, in the parking lot, in the rain, all day, every day, until somebody sells it. And I just think that's so crazy. If you just look around, that's over $1 million worth of cars right there, just sitting in the parking lot in inventory. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see the entrance. There's no real gates, right? It's a very nice area, don't get me wrong, but there's no gates. There's not even, as you can tell, there's not even really security walking around at all that's like harassed you or anything. This is a new Spectre right here, the Rolls-Royce Spectre. I think that might actually be somebody's personal vehicle, though. Whew, that thing is nice. These things, and I don't know if you've ever seen a Rolls-Royce up front, but these things they look like regular cars, but the tires on them, those are like 24s. Huge, 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 huge cars. It's the inside McLaren. Some more McLarens coming up. But it just kind of seeing these cars sit outside, like I said, here, South Florida, it kind of puts into perspective for you like, wow, there is another world out there. And it's not another world. There's just a different community of people where these type vehicles are just normal, right? Like, you ever thought about that? Like, there is a community of people, we'll call them, let's say, teenagers per se. Man, look at this. This is the Rolls-Royce Ghost black badge. You can't see in there at all. And there is man, look at those tires too. I think those are 22s on that thing. But there's a community out there where walking or taking the bus or, catching an Uber or catching a cab or catching a ride with somebody. Look at that. It looks nice inside there. Real nice. Where catching a cab or something is a very normal thing, And then there is a community where, let's say, driving a Honda Accord or a Honda Civic or oh wow, so this one the asking is $400. Look at that, $420,000, almost $500,000. So after all the packages, it's probably $500,000 asking. Wow. Woo. Look at that. And look at that interior too. Beautiful, beautiful. That back seat. Yeah, I guess you could fit some people in the back seat. But there's a community out there where walking or catching an Uber or catching a cab, right? Taking the public transportation, the bus, right? That's normal for them, right? And there's a community out there where driving I don't even know what the Chevrolet cars are anymore, but let's say a Chevy Impala. I think they don't make those anymore. So whatever Chevrolet is, a Chevy Tahoe, we'll go with that. I know they still make Tahoes. So driving a Chevy Tahoe or a freaking Honda Civic or Honda Accord, those vehicles are regular. You know what I mean? Man, I feel bad. I don't even know Chevrolet cars anymore, other than the Corvette. Look at this Ferrari, because I don't really care about it anymore. But we'll say a Chevy Camaro. Yeah, I know that. Okay, yeah. So we'll say a Chevy Camaro, a Ford Mustang, yeah, Dodge Charger, Dodge Challenger, right? There are communities where those are normal cars. Let's say the military, for example. If you go to most military bases, you can find Dodge Chargers, Camaros, Mustangs all day long, right? That's easy peasy. You can find dozens of them, different colored rims, different colored wraps, you name it. Look at this, man. Ferrari, the back of those Ferraris is really wide too. Wow. But you get what I'm saying. Those cars are normal. A Chevy Camaro, a Dodge Challenger, a Dodge Charger in the military, that's normal. It's standard issue, right? But have you considered that there is a community where owning a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or a Rolls Royce or Bentley is normal? And that's not a big deal. And I'm telling you, that world exists in a lot of places, guys. And I don't mean just one area, like let's say Naples, Florida, or only in LA or Miami. How you doing? But I'm telling you, this world exists all over the world, right? Any major city in America, you can find, let's say, $1 million homes. And not only $1 million homes, you can find, multi-million-dollar cars there. And so when you start recognizing that, you start saying like, wow, it's not exclusive to just one place. So let's say if you start on the East Coast, New York City, DC, Atlanta, we'll say Miami, but Naples, you got West Palm Beach, right? Tampa, Fort Lauderdale, all of these places you can go, you can see $1 million homes, $1 million cars. And then, let's see, if you work your way towards the central part, you can go to Indianapolis, you can go to Chicago, where else? You can go to, you got some other people checking out vehicles here. Where else can you go? You can go to Denver, Colorado as well. Let me see. I'm trying to think of other places. You can go to Denver. You can go to LA. You can go to basically anywhere in California. And you can find these vehicles in abundance and multi-million-dollar properties. And so you start to realize that it's not exclusive to, let's say, one area. It's not even exclusive to just America. Because when you travel overseas, France, Greece, obviously you guys should know that Dubai is, I think their police officers drive Lamborghinis. And so you start to realize that there's not as much lack of money in circulation as you might have previously imagined. It's just your exposure to it and I guess you could say the people or your community, your family, your friends, the people that you associate with, what their normal reality or life experiences have been that determine whether or not these cars are normal or whether they're really, exotic and extravagant and only for the select few. And so I'm here to tell you that when you start coming to the dealership, and I always recommend talking to the salesman. Like I said, I've been here before, so I come here because it makes me uncomfortable at my age. I'm 37. It makes me uncomfortable at my age not coming here to purchase a vehicle. Like, I feel behind schedule. I feel like I haven't accomplished. I feel like I'm behind schedule on my goals because I am not able to afford one of these vehicles just yet, right? So I would say I could probably buy $100,000 car, like a literal 100,000. 6 zeros, one with 6 zeros, well, basically 5 zeros behind it. But I am not in a position just yet to buy a 300K car or a 400K car or 500K car. And I think that's for me at my age. I feel like that makes me behind schedule. Now I get it. Everybody wants to talk about stats. Everybody wants to talk about, well, most people in America, most, blah, 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 blah. I didn't make this channel for most, right? I made this channel for people that want to be top 10%, that want to be in the 1%, in America and quite possibly the world, right? And don't kid yourself. The gap or the range of 1%ers in America is very wide. Do not kid yourself. I believe in most cities, most states, income-wise, right? I'm not talking net worth, but we're talking about income-wise. To be in the top 10% or 1%, forgive me, can't remember which one it was, but I will say 10% at least, because if you're in the 1%, you're in the 10%, right? To be in the top 10%, you just have to be making north of $400,000 a year. Now, why I say just have to be, because there are people out there making $1 billion a year with the B as income, not net worth, but like actual income. So to know that you only need to clear like 400,000 per year in income to be in the top 10% in your state, and in most places in America for the most part, barring the obviously most expensive zip codes. To me, that's pretty mind-boggling. And so when you think about that, you go, wow, 400,000. And you're in the top 10% of income earners in your state. So to me, when I look at, let's say, being on the purchase one of these vehicles, I feel a different type of pressure when I come to these places, because I feel like I'm at a stage in life where I should be a customer, a client. I should not be a window shopper, right? So, guys, take that lesson from me to come to places that you want to, I guess you could say, live. Also, go to a dealership that has the cars that you want to buy, because it's going to affect your emotions, and your emotions are going to affect the actions that you take day to day to create the success or to not have the success that you're looking for, right? And so for me personally, coming here puts like an extra motivation on me, because again, like I said, I feel behind whenever I come to the dealership, because I feel like I'm at an age and I've had enough time in life to where I have there's been enough time for me to be able to do what I need to do to be able to afford one of these vehicles or multiples of these vehicles, right? I don't subscribe to the whole, well, you're only in your 30s, you got all the time in the world, right? Most people don't make their first million until they're 50, 60, et cetera, whatever, right? I don't buy into that, guys, right? There are people in their 20s nowadays that are making millions of dollars. And that's not, allowing, let's say, comparison to be the thief of joy, but it's also saying, hey, let me put a realistic measurement of my performance for me, on a real time scale, guys. And I recommend you do that, right? So don't subscribe to society's timeline that, well, you just got your whole life to make this million, and, Colonel Sanders started KFC at 65. Well, that is a true story, but do you really want to live on this earth for 65 years before you make your first $1 million a year? Or would you rather live on this earth for 35 years and then make your first million? What if you could do it at 25 years? What if you could do it at 15 years, right? And what if you don't live to be 65? What if you die at 55? All right, it's all things to think about. But again, to me, the emotion of being here, it gives you that added motivation to say, hey, time is ticking and somebody is buying these vehicles, you know. People are buying these vehicles. And look at this, like, look how an M5 looks compared to, you know, the Rolls Royces and things. Like, this is, man, Matt, it looks really clean though while you're playing. I mean, you compare that to the black badge, and I'm not sure that the black badge looks better. I would say actually the BMW actually looks better than the Rose, in my opinion. I mean, some of y'all might say, oh, that's blasphemy, but I'm just saying, just, you know, quick peek at this and a quick peek at this and man, why can't I talk today? A quick peek, a quick peek at this one and a quick peek at the Rolls Royce. I'd say the BMW looks better. But again, that's just personal opinion. It might just be the matte wrap or whatever, but interior looks just as nice, just as clean, you know. Obviously, people are going to respect the Rolls Royce and treat you way different, and it's got a way different price tag on it. But again, look at this, you know, like this is bird poop. And I'm saying that like y'all don't know what it is, but my point is this is a $400,000 to $500,000 vehicle with bird poop on it, you know, and pollen. You know what I mean? Like, look at that. That's just bird poop on it. And I think it kind of helps you realize, like, when you get there, there's a level where you can just, you don't even, I mean, I know people with Dodge Chargers. You know, you're talking about a $40,000, $50,000 car, new, maybe 80 if you got the top end, whatever, with the big motor. But you're talking about a $500,000 vehicle right here that costs as much as a house or two houses, depending on where you go in rural America, right? You can buy two houses for the price of this, right? But in most places, you can buy a house for $500,000. It may not be the nicest, but in most places in America, you can still buy a house for $500,000. And look at this. They got these cars sitting out here in the weather, in the dust, in the pollen, getting rained on. And for me, that's eye-opening because it's like, okay, there's a level you can get to where you can just leave your car, $500,000 car out in the weather and you don't even bat an eye. And the reason why I say that is because I know people that drive Dodge Chargers or Challengers that worship those vehicles, right? They're not even top end. And even if it is a top end Challenger, it's like, what is it, 80K? So it really opens your eyes to the levels that are of finance out there, right? And look at this. This is another Urus, right? This one I know for sure is at least about 230-ish. It's got custom gold rims on it. So guys, when I come do these type of trips, I'm always asking myself the question of what's stopping you from owning one of these, right? So this, I guess you could say this was like be confession day or whatever for me. But I always ask myself, hey, what's stopping you from buying one of these? And, you know, obviously beyond the path, the obvious answer of, hey, you know, I just don't make enough money or I don't have the money, right? Everybody knows that. But it's like, why? And look, this is a 100K Chevy Corvette. So the Z06 is like, I think about 150 to 160 brand new. Let's see how well I know my vehicles. It's buyer's guide as is. So they even have a price tag on it. I don't think I see one. I'm looking for one, but I don't see it. Yeah, but the Z06 is a six-figure car. So when you look at that, I mean, you go, wow. Again, parked outside, not in the garage. And so one of the things I always love to do is I just love to ask myself, like, hey, what is it that you're doing or not doing to be able to afford these vehicles? And when will you buy one? You know, it's a very fair question. Yeah, good, good, good. And so, to me, it's like I know the work that I have to put in to be able to afford them, and I go, it should take me about 2 years. And so, what I want to share with you all is that if you don't come to places like this and make it real for yourself, I'm not sure that it'll happen for you, especially if you're not, somebody like an athlete or entertainer where, it's just all of a sudden you go from broke to rich overnight, right? You sign a contract and all of a sudden now you got $50 million or $20 million because your movie blew up, right? If you're not in that type of field and you're a regular American, if you will, where you got to work to own and build, then it's going to take a year or two or three to really start earning $1 million a year or more and to build and grow it from there, right? But for me, coming here, like I said, it makes me very uncomfortable because I feel like I should already be able to afford these vehicles. And as of today, the time of this record, I'm not in a position to be able to buy one just yet. But I'm on my way. But again, I do feel behind because I feel like I should already have one. I feel like I'm about 3-4 years behind of becoming and when I say a millionaire, I mean like someone that's earning $1 million plus a year, right? And then, obviously you go to netting $1 million, which just means, I would say putting $1 million in the bank, right? Having a literal $1 million in the bank, right? And then going beyond that. But anyways, I just could say the exposure, it opens your eyes, opens your mind, it makes it real, and it takes it out of the fantasy or la la land. It really brings it to, man, I love that little green caliper, the grape caliper on that. I think it really makes it pop. But anyways, it takes it out of fantasy land in your mind, and it makes it real. And not only does it make it real, but it makes it more tangible, right? Because as long as something is like either impossible or really, big fantasy in your mind, you're never really gonna pursue it, right? Because it's too big. But when you can make it tangible, when you can make it real, when you can start to touch it, you can start to smell it, you can come to the dealership and you can start to see that there's dozens of these cars just sitting outside in the weather, waiting for you to buy one, right? You can start seeing people pull up in their Lambo, dropping off. You can see the service men, driving them around, moving them around. It really starts taking out that novelty away from it, and it starts to make it real and practical. And it starts to make you realize, like, wow, I can do this, right? I can own one of these. It's not all of that, right? They're nice, don't get me wrong. But they're cars for somebody. Somebody already got this in their garage. Somebody's on their 3rd, 4th, 5th Lambo, Man, look at the Performante. Those are, 22s? Ooh, look at that, 22. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like 22-inch. No, 23. And there's a huge Wasp. We're going to let him do his thing. Golly. But look at that. Beautiful color and spec. But yeah, it really kind of brings it home for you, and you go, man, I want one. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Ooh, this is beautiful too. That I don't know if you can see it. Oh, it's hard to show, but it's like a blue stitching in there, and it looks nice. Whoa. It's a Wasp right there, man. I'm like, yo, you got it, homie. Huge Wasp. Yeah. Yeah, he was flying right towards me, and I'm like, yeah, you got it, homie. Like, me and you, we don't have no problems. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna go whatever direction that you not going, in the opposite way, But anyways, look at this. This is I think a Lamborghini Revuelto, but it's almost $1 million car. So I think it's like 700-800K if I'm not mistaken. insane, you know, like you thought Bugatti was doing it crazy. Yeah, that's it. The Revuelto a couple years ago with, well, I ain't gonna say a couple, about a decade ago, selling $1 million car. Now their cars are 5 million brand new. Gosh. And I mean, it's beautiful, you know. It's special. I mean, look at that exhaust. Golly. Wow. And it's got the motor too. You can see the motor, right, sitting outside. Woo. Super clean inside too. Man, you can't see it with the camera because of the reflection, but man, every time I come, it puts a new sense of urgency on me. Like, hey, I gotta earn my million faster, quicker, so I can enjoy the vehicles. But again, that's the reason why I come here, because again, it always adds extra motivation to me. And it always makes me feel like, hey, there's more I could be doing. And it's always a reminder, right? Because if you just go about your day to day, it's real easy to get trapped into the, well, you know, that's not realistic. Not everybody can have a Rolls Royce. You know, not everybody can have a Lamborghini, right? Not everybody can blah, blah, blah. Only, you know, wealthy, whatever excuses you want to make. It's real easy to fall into that, right? But then when you come to the dealership and you talk to the salesman and you realize that, you know, they sell these things all day, every day, right? They're not sitting on inventory, right? And you come out here, let's say maybe even once a month, and you realize these vehicles are turning over, right? Like, you're not seeing the same cars sitting here week after week, month after month, like you do at a little Chevrolet dealership or something, right? Like these cars are being bought and sold, right? And then, like I said, when you see that the brand new, guys, that's the brand new 2025, $300,000 plus cars sitting out in the weather. And guys, that's not just during the day while they're open. I mean, like, you can drive past here at night or the day that they're closed, and these vehicles are parked outside. Don't kid yourself, right? So it really puts in perspective, like, man, it's not all of that. It's just that you haven't done it yet. And the best way I can describe it is, I remember when I was lifting weights and I wanted to be able to squat 300 pounds. And so when I wanted to squat 300 pounds, I thought it was, you know, really special and everything. But then when I got there, I felt like, man, you know, it felt heavy, but it wasn't that heavy. And I guess you could say the biggest takeaway for me was it was just work and time and consistency. It wasn't even that squatting 300 some pounds was all that and crazy or insane, because some people bench press more than that, but it was just work. And then the same thing that took me to 405 pounds. It was just work. That's it. Time and work, right? And so I didn't go past, you know, 4 plates on there with the 5. I didn't go past that. But the point was, it was just work. And the average healthy male in America can do that, I would say, within a year and a half, if they're focused and being consistent. They can get there. And that's how I look at earning the money to be able to afford these things. I think earning $1 million a year is doable for the average person in America with at least average intelligence and a great work ethic. You have to have a great work ethic. But I don't think it's impossible. And so that's why when I come here, I get inspired, but I also get a little frustrated. And I wouldn't even say frustrated in a bad way, but I get a little pep in my step of, hey, I got to get to it, because I see it as achievable. And when I see it as achievable, I mean I see it as achievable for me, not for somebody else. And that's a I guess you could say a tad bit or a note for some of y'all is that a lot of you all are fans of other people, right? Meaning like you're a LeBron James fan, you're a Steph Curry fan, um, but you're not a fan of yourself, all right? And so that's something to think about. Like you don't know your stats in life. You know LeBron James stats, you know Steph Curry stats, you know Patrick Mahomes stats, but you don't know your own stats of your wins and losses, right? And points that you scored, shots that you might have missed, or plays that you could have ran better, right? You don't have that inventory on yourself. And so when I come look at these type places, this is another time for me to be like, hey, get it together, right? Because I look at it as like, hey, enough time has passed for you to have accomplished this. And so while I've had, six figures, it's like 6 figures is cool, but 6 figures a month is better, right? And then when you hit 6 figures a month, it's like, okay, well, how do I do that consistently? All right. And then you go to, well, there's a level where it's 7 figures a month or 7 figures a week, 7 figures in a day, 7 figures in a couple hours, right? And so that's why I recommend that, whatever it is, and it doesn't have to be cars, right? It doesn't have to be houses, but, whatever it is, go visit it. But since this channel is, mostly geared towards those of you that want to get out of the corporate race or rat race, or you want to get out of just, I guess you say, being on the hamster wheel, then you got to get around people that already have these things. And if you can't get around them, at least come to the dealership, go walk around the neighborhoods that you would like to live in, right? If there's none in your area, at least go to the most expensive neighborhood in your area and walk around, right? And get in that environment, see what it feels like, because when you get those emotions, that also helps you to visualize it and take that work or put in the work that's required to get there, right? And so I'm telling you, I guess I don't necessarily give myself enough credit sometimes, but I have already done this with my current vehicle that I have. I got a Genesis GV80. It's a 2022, bought it brand new. And that was a dream car for me at one point in time. That was a vehicle on my wall that I wanted, right? And I was able to work and get it. And now it's a reality for me, right? And again, with that vehicle, it's an attention getter for sure. But again, it depends on where I go. Because see, like if I go home to where I'm from, in South Carolina, there is there's not a lot of Genesis there, so it's attention getter there. But then I could take that thing down to, let's say, West Palm Beach, Florida. Man, everybody's got one, but there's a different level of income there. There's a different level of financial aptitude there, right? Or ability, if you will, there. Well, this is a Phantom too. This is an older model, but wow. But there's a different financial wealth around there. So yeah, definitely got that dream car, driving it currently still. But then when I got that, it was like, okay, I enjoy it, it's nice, but I set my sights on the next level. But what I'm telling you is before I bought that vehicle, I rented it. And when I drove it as a rental, I loved it, fell in love with it, didn't want to give the rental back, to be honest with you. So that really motivated me that when the time came to go get it, I was excited and I got it. And so I'm telling you all, like, you need to come spend some time around your dreams, right? And not only that, but figure out the numbers, right? Like for me, you see me, I'm checking the prices on these things, right? And then I'm not doing this today, but I'll go talk to the salesman and say, who buys these type vehicles, right? If you don't know what you need to do to be able to afford one of these, then go talk to the salesman and say, hey man, who can afford these things? Like, who's buying these vehicles, right? And they will tell you. And then ask them to run the numbers. Say, hey man, maybe if they're busy, they might not necessarily have the time to give you the exact numbers, right? Because you ain't buying nothing, so they ain't gonna, take your information and take it to the bank. But they can give you an idea. You can say, hey man, what does it take? Okay, you need decent credit. That's obvious, right? But then, okay, how much do I need to put down if I do have decent credit, right? Do I need to put 10 grand down? Do I need to put 20 grand down? Do I need to put 1% down, 5%? And then when you do that, what does the payments look like, right? And I know, I get it. You may have been told, hey, people only buy these cars if they can pay for it cash. If you can't pay for it cash, you can't afford it. I will tell you that, here's what I'll tell you. There are many different philosophies on the way money should be managed. There are some people that are old school that say, you should only pay cash for them. There are other people that say, you're an idiot if you pay cash for them because you could take that $400,000 or $500,000, put it into a property or put it into an investment and, double, triple your money or, get some type of monthly passive income that's $3-4 grand and that covers the, the cost of your payment. And then when you're done with paying the vehicle off, you still got the vehicle, but you got the asset plus the income still, right? So there's varying philosophies on it, but I will tell you that the days of only cash buyers buying cars is gone for the most part. Nowadays, you see these cars financed just like any other vehicle, just like going to buy a Chevy or a Dodge. It's not really a big deal. Nobody's frowned upon it. Nobody thinks you're less than. That understands finance, right? Only people that are ignorant to the current financial status of the world would think, oh, you can't afford it unless you pay cash, right? There are banks that I would tell you that give way better terms for exotics because especially if you're buying them used or pre-owned, there are banks that will give you like a 144-month loan on them, right? Because they know that exotics don't appreciate. So there's a whole game to be played out there where if you don't necessarily want to buy them brand new, or even if you do buy them brand new, but you're buying something exclusive, let's say like a Bugatti or whatever, they will give you a 144-month loan or a 12-year loan on exotic because they know the value is either gonna, stay steady or it's gonna go up. So like today, like if you bought a Bugatti brand new, $5 million, it's very possible that within a few years you might be able to sell that thing for $6-7 million and make money, make $2-3 million on owning it, as long as you don't, drive the miles up on it. And then also there's a lot of like this 750S, like it's, I don't know, what 300 something we said on the sticker, but we also know that within, I don't know, 5 to 10 years, that vehicle, as long as you haven't put like 50,000 miles on it, it's still going to be worth $300,000, period. There's just not that many 750S's available to purchase. So when you see that, you can make money, and the banks know that you can make money with this, then they'll give you a 12-year loan on it or whatever, as long as you got good credit, because they're not going to lose no matter what. Even if you can't make the payments, they know they can just come get the car, sell it, and you just with the down payment that they're going to require from you alone, they're automatically going to have equity on the vehicle. So it's just going to end up being one of those things where it's like you can't lose, basically, as long as you don't crash the vehicle. I guess that's the one thing where you could lose is if you crash the vehicle. But other than that, it's like there's so many opportunities with these vehicles, and we're not even going to get into the whole networking and the business opportunities that come from it, because now you're in a different room with different people. But I would just say that they're definitely accessible, they're definitely attainable, And you're really talking, if we want to talk real numbers, let's say for a 200K car, you're probably talking about four to 5 grand a month with maybe 40, 50K down, maybe less, depending on your negotiation ability and your credit history, right? But yeah, you're really looking at about, I would say, to be fair, I would say plan for 5K a month. And some of you do go, oh, that's ridiculous. That's a mortgage payment or whatever. But again, guys, remember, we're talking about a different world or a different community of people where 5K a month is a car payment or a car note. It's not really a big deal. 10, 20, 30K a month is not really a lot of money in some circles, some communities, right? And so you got to remember, for some people, this is a dream car. For others, they got 5 or 6 of them in a garage, right? They collect them like toys, right? So it's levels, and you just got to decide where you want to play at. And I think one of the best things you can do is come, like I'm doing today, come visit a dealership, come look at the cars, come see the price tags, come ask questions about the vehicles. Right? Say, hey, man, if I wanted to buy this, what will the numbers look like? And then set out a plan. You've done this on lower levels of your life. You just haven't done it on a big scale. Think about it. There's probably a car you driving right now that you made plans to go buy it, right? Or you had an idea that, hey, I could afford a $300 a month payment or whatever. If I get this job, I could afford a $500 a month payment, right? Insurance is going to be 40, 50 bucks a month or whatever it is. I got to pay for gas, right? And you went, okay, I could afford to buy this car that I'm driving now, right? And same with rent. You went and you saw, okay, I got to put this much money down. I got to, I can afford this much per month. The electric's going to be this, the water's going to be that, internet's going to cost a certain amount. And then you went, okay, if I have this job or if I'm earning this much, I can afford that, right? And so all this is at a different level. Now, the only thing is you just don't have it as easy of an answer when it comes to the financial part, right? You can't just simply say, oh, well, I need $30,000 a month. So, I just need to go apply for a job where, the starting salary is $360K. Because we all know, for the most part, unless you're CEO or COO, one of the people in the C-suite, you're not going to end up with I guess you could say, a starting salary north of 300K, right? You're going to have to create or work or build over time, right? Or work your way up the corporate ladder, et cetera, right? But the process is still the same. You look at the numbers and you decide, okay, what do I need to do to earn this so that I can afford that? And I'll leave with this last thought, because I'm getting ready to wrap it up. Been around this thing a couple of times. But one of my mentors, it's a guy that's making 7 figures a month, right? And he talks about, what if you made your dream number your I have to number, right? Instead of saying, okay, like let's say if you read the numbers on all these vehicles and you had, let's say, your multi-million-dollar house, you're flying private everywhere, or you're flying first class and you're doing this or that, and then you realize, okay, I need to make 25, 30 grand a month to be able to live that lifestyle, or to be able to afford that lifestyle. Instead of saying that'd be nice one day, what if you just said, I have to make 30,000 a month, period. Like I have to, right? Like, and it made me think about like our current levels. Like I'm at a level where I would never ever look. See, there goes somebody driving a Lambo. See, it's normal. Beauty wears is normal. But there is how I would say it. Excuse me. Like we've already done it, because I've reached a level where, and I don't say it like like I've accomplished something, but I'm just at a level where I would never ever work for minimum wage. And I think most of you are watching this, you would never consider, right? Like I would just go, if you went flat broke today, right? Let's say whatever happened in life, you went flat broke today. Like I would not consider getting a job at McDonald's as a realistic option for myself, because I have too many skills, and where I'm trying to get to, it's just not going to be enough money, period, right? Like I'm not even going to be able to afford to put gas in my SUV with the hours that I work at McDonald's because they pay too little, right? So I wouldn't even consider it because of the lifestyle that I have to live and my current bills. And so what Bernie was getting at was like, what if you made your dream lifestyle and you treat it like that? What if you, instead of saying, hey, let me go to work so I can pay these bills or whatever because I have to, because if not, we're going to be on the street, yada, yada, yada. What if you treated your dream lifestyle, that number, the same way, right? What if you said, I have to make $300,000-$400,000 a year because, that's what I need to pay for my lifestyle. And you stop making it a sweet thing, or you stop making it a thing where it's like, oh, okay, that would be nice someday, one day. And you was like, nope, this is what it's going to be regardless, right? So maybe that might be the shift that you need. And then that way you can come out here, buy one of these. And if you do it quick enough, you might be able to buy one together. So, well, all right, guys. That's it for today's video. Like I said, I wanted to do a little different because I'm not feeling well, but still wanted to put out a video. As you guys can see, I probably couldn't speak perfect English today, but again, being around these vehicles, even for me, I've already shared with you guys, it puts a sense of urgency on me because I feel like I should be driving off in one of these, given my age and the amount of time I've been in the working fields, right? And so I've made multiple six figures, but I haven't hit seven figures yet, right? And so for something like this, that's a 200K car, 300K car, I should be close, So give me another year or two, I'll have one for sure. And again, guys, these are just my dreams. I shared you a little tidbit, but I assume a lot of you all wouldn't mind having an exotic car, wouldn't mind having a luxury car, the house, trips. And I'm telling you that's real. And I'm telling you, as you make more money, start going to the dealership, start staying in nicer hotels, start flying first class, start tipping better when you go out to a restaurant, right? Start tipping up front, right? Start tipping up front. That's another thing I learned from Jim Rohn, right? It's a little nerve-wracking at first, but start giving a great tip up front. You'll see better service. And that will also give you extra motivation to get and do what you need to do to be able to afford that lifestyle on a regular basis because you're going to love it. You're going to say, hey, I don't want to go back to flying economy. That's what I said when I started flying first class. And once I started driving a luxury vehicle, I'm like, I don't want to drive a regular vehicle anymore, right? It's a different experience. And what happens is when you get that experience, it starts to become a standard for you, right? So people might call it bougie or sedity or whatever, but it really becomes a standard in your life, right? That you don't want to go below. And when it starts to become a standard, you start treating income levels differently, right? Because now it's no longer nice to fly first class. You're like, I must fly first class because that's what I do. I can't go back to economy, right? I need my lay flat seats, right? I need me a quality meal on the plane so I can show up rested, right? And then you just start making it a standard. It's not even luxury for you anymore. It's just the way you live, right? Even down to the food you eat. Once you start eating real food, and when I mean real food, I mean food that's sourced and grown right? So you start eating, let's say, grass-fed meat or beef, and then you go back to this, I don't know, whatever chemicals that they be feeding these animals. But when you have real grass-fed meat, and you eat that stuff, and then you go back to the stuff that with the chemicals, you're like, it's a total difference. And you're like, hey, I want this natural organic stuff. I don't want this stuff with all the chemicals that they put in it, right? When you start doing that, you'll realize it definitely costs more, but it's worth it because it's a better quality of life and it's better for you, right? So that's what I want to encourage you with this video is to go before you're ready, right? Experience what little bit that you can afford, and that's gonna help you get there, in my opinion, much faster, much quicker, and it's going to eliminate all of the excuses that you may have because you're going to see that some people already live this and it's normal for them and they don't even bat an eye, right? And again, when you come in the dealership and you see 300K cars, over $1 million worth of cars just sitting in the parking lot out in the rain with pollen and dust and leaves on them, it makes you realize, like, hey, there's a level you can get to where you can have $2-3 million cars just sitting out, $2-3 million worth of cars just sitting outside in the rain and not even bat an eye at it, right? So, okay, guys, till next video. Say if you got value in this, please share, like the video, subscribe, share it with somebody. And also, I appreciate you all's comments. You know, I appreciate feedback on the videos, good or bad. Let me see what you want. Let me know what you want to see more of, because again, this video, or not this video, but this channel is about helping you all grow and also sharing my journey as I grow and develop, right? So it's a twofold thing. But the main goal, or I guess you could say the main purposes of this channel, is to help those of you that are stuck in the 70K to, we'll say, 200K range with the job or with just sales or self-employed, to help you get to that next level to where you're earning 7 figures a year, right? And I'm on that journey with you, right? So the things that I learned, the skills, techniques that I use to get to the level I'm at and to go beyond, I'm going to share those things with you all, and we'll grow together. And when I'm making multiple 7s and I'm, getting 7 a month, then I'll start talking to you about, going from 6 figures to 7 figures a month, like that'll be the discussion, because I know it's coming. But again, guys, make sure you get out of your comfort zone, go visit these places on a regular basis, because the more you do it, the more real it becomes, and then the more it stops being an imaginary thing, the more it becomes a real number, the more it becomes practical to you, and eventually you will have one of these in your garage sooner than later, promise you. And you will see one in my garage sooner than later. All right, guys, so next video, take care.